Nigeria is the most populous black nation on earth. And here in Canada, its people make up a significant number of African Canadians spread across the various provinces and territories. In February this year, the Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia elected a new executive. In that election, Adegoke Fadare emerged as the new president of that association, and he joins us now from Halifax. Welcome back to the show, Adegoke.
It's an honor and it's great being here. I know over the campaign we had some conversations. It's great being here too. Thank you.
Nice. Let me start by congratulating you on your successful election. And this is actually the very first interview we're having or granting after the election. So how do you feel as a president now?
Well, it's a great honor to serve the people. I think myself and my team, we think it's a very great privilege, and we feel the weight. We feel the weight of the responsibility, and we also know that we're ready for the task. So we're fully ready to be able to deliver on the mandates that we have promised to people throughout.
Right. So would you say that you understand the expectations of the mandate given to you by the people? I ask because the job of any leader is enormous, as you well know. If you want to make an impact, and leading Nigerians especially with diverse views and opinions, you can see anything. But so did you know this? Are you ready for the office?
Well, I would say that my team and I are ready. We promised all throughout the campaign to do right by the people. And that's one of the things we're going to do. So that every time that we are out there executing a task or responsibility, we're mindful of the people. And I think that's important. So we're ready for the job. It's enormous. And Nigerians are not one of the easiest set of groups of people to lead, but it's exciting. And we know that there are also people who are very supportive and are willing to help in the best way possible. And we're counting on all of those supports.
Right, Mr. President, what kind of association was handed to you? And how would you describe the state of things right now?
Well, I think it's obvious for me, which was one of the things that I ran on, that we need to broaden the association. We need to become a people of law. I think it's important for us to institutionalize the association. And that's why I think the message that I ran with, and members of the team resonated very well with the people. So what I would say is, I don't want to dwell too much on the past. I want to dwell a lot more on here and going forward. Is that people can be less assured that we're going to have an association that is going to be followed by the rules and regulations of the bylaws. We're going to implement it to the letter, and we're also going to broaden the association to affect different stakeholders and also different areas of Nova Scotia. There won't be an association of just Halifax alone. So those are things that we're working on and we're hoping to implement.
Well, that's fair enough. So some people think that most past administrations, they pride themselves in similar achievements. They organize barbecues in summer, they organize passport interventions and Nigeria Gala Night, etc. Is this what we should expect from your office after 2 years of occupying that seat?
I think that in 2 years, at the end of 2 years, people are going to see an association that they can be proud. An association that is fighting for their members to broaden their expectations and to create many bridges. I must say that people who have gone before us have done a great job in being able to do some of those events that you've highlighted. And obviously, I believe that government is continual. So we're going to obviously do some of those events, but we're looking at engaging government at high levels and at high stakes. And there are so many things we can do. That's why we set up what we call the business think tank. We're opening the business think tank, for example, we eventually would metamorphose into what we call a chamber of commerce, where we'll be able to link Lagos and Halifax, because we see that we have the market in Lagos, and then we can see how we can organize ourselves here, with collaboration with government, our businesses, and we'll be able to bring those gaps between those two things. There are many things that we're working and we're thinking about. So it's not just going to be the barbecue or all those things that we've always done in the time past. But we're looking at seeing a lot of networking and bridges across the Atlantic.
Right. So apart from your supporters, as you well know, and loyalists, you are also expected to lead those who don't quite agree with you and probably your agenda. How do you intend to unite all these different groups? to bring them all together to one house?
I think it's important that people are united around the vision. I think we plan to articulate a very clear objective, a clear vision of what we want to achieve. Because the truth of the matter is we will have differences of opinion, but there are certain things that we can all agree on. For example, we can all agree that our businesses do not have to be on the sidelines. Our businesses can come to the centerpiece and be able to employ people and be able to do good business and invest back in the community. I think regardless of where you stand on the spectrum of things, that you will agree with that. So those are things that we articulated, the vision, so that regardless of whether you are from any ethnic group or religious background, that we can agree on certain things. And that's what we are championing.
Right, Mr. President, and of course you can agree with me that there are people who think their voices and opinions are not being heard or addressed. They've been told number of times to keep quiet and respect elders. I'm not particular about you right now because you just assumed office. So whenever they raise issues that those questions arise and activities within their situation, it's not clearly spelled out to them. Are we running an autocratic leadership style here? Are people allowed to share their views, especially when it is not coming from, their favorite persons? What do you say about that?
I think obviously you and I know that one of the biggest challenges of the past administration, the immediate past, was communication. They had good intentions, they had good policies, but communication was one of those things that they were not able to carry out. I don't know why, but I think that it is left for them to be able to answer. So I guess the challenge was that many people were asking questions, and because of either a method to articulate their position, it seemed like it was easier for people to feel like they were shut out or cut off. So what we intend to do, I hope that this kind of engagement, we can have it once in a quarter, and to be able to have Nigerians be able to ask their questions openly, and hoping the kind of forum that we had like during the debate, where people can ask live questions and we're able to give them answers to it, either through social media or the rest. We obviously are planning to have our own ANS WhatsApp group. We're going to be very deliberate about how we're going to achieve it. I won't talk much about how we plan to do it now. It's something that's always been a part of the plan, so that people can also be able to have platforms as such to express their opinion. Sure, no matter, democracy is democracy of the people, by the people, and for the people. So we understand that the voice of people is important, and we want to hear. And that's why we set up what we call the membership and welfare part, where we have the membership unit that's going to be doing surveys and getting feedbacks from people. What do you want? What is it that you want us to do differently? What are the things, ideas that you want us to do? And those are important things regarding the communication. We're going between all of that. We formed that team already.
Yeah, one thing is to create such platform as WhatsApp to communicate with people. And of course, communication is a bi-directional kind of information sharing. So what is that channel the administration is hoping to leverage on or to establish to connect with the people?
There's so many channels. Like I was referring to the membership and welfare. With membership and welfare are going to be doing what we call constant survey with the members. Because one of the things we want is to have a lot of membership engagement. So we've created a committee for that. So the committee comes up with different things for our children, for even members across all spheres, so that we were always hearing back from you. So hopefully during the summer, we'll be able to, maybe the children will have some like a train ride, to be able to explore what it means about the train system. The membership is going to come up with a lot of those type of ideas for our children, even for us as members. And we're going to be doing constant survey. We also hope that platforms like this with CU will be an opportunity that people will be able to ask those questions. So I want people to recognize that we're not going to shut you out. We're not going to be saying shut up, or we're not going to say shh. We're going to ensure that your voice is heard. And when your voice is heard, we will see how we can align it to what we are intending to do.
Right. And you've said this over and over again that you're looking to work with members of your community to carry out your task. So what exactly will be the expectation from your members? I mean, those who are not on your team currently, to deliver on your agenda during your term?
If I get you right, when you say members, are you referring to members of the leadership in terms of positions and various committees?
Yeah, so I'm referring to members outside your current ESCO. What are your expectations from those who are not in your ESCO to help you, deliver on your expectation during this tenure?
There's so many things. Like, so for example, we have the business think tank, we have the membership committee. We hope with all of this. So the business think tank is going to have a lot of engagement with the business community. And we have an agenda for that. Some of those agendas, when we formally inaugurate that committee, we're going to be able to have that agenda well cleared out. But some of the things that we're hoping that they will be able to do is we want to be able to leverage with government. So, for example, I asked myself, why can't we have a direct flight from Lagos to Halifax or Halifax to Lagos? If you look at the map, we are both sitting at the Atlantic, and it's a shorter distance from Halifax to Lagos. So why go Europe and come all the way down? So those are the conversations we're hoping to get with businesses here, to be able to look for credible businesses in Nigeria and bring about those kinds of partnerships. So those are some of the expectations I have. I can speak about the expectations for each and every one of those committees because, like I said, the association is going to be member-driven and not executive-driven. And that's why we're giving out these committees to members, and we're empowering members to be able to take ownership of those committees. So those are some of the expectations we have. There are a lot of it across different committees.
All right. So again, during your campaign, you talked a lot about creating value, and you were at the forefront about this particular topic in order to make the association membership, attractive. So how do you hope to achieve this particular one?
So it's basically about letting people have a buy-in, let people understand what is at stake for them, regardless of, so for example, we plan the summer camp. The summer camp is obviously there. Presently, there's not like a fund for it, but there's going to be a lot of leverage. So our monthly meetings, for example, we're going to be calling on different business owners to brand each month in the name of a particular company. So we're going to be asking people, what benefit would that be for those organizations? One, they will have opportunity to join our monthly meeting to talk about their business. We'll also be able to push that message of that particular company to all our members. So we're going to be, so each month going forward from the month of May, we're open to have different companies decide to brand that month, because we are open that join our monthly meetings at the end of it all, that we have what we call the network or the friendship center, where people are able to meet and mingle and have some tea chat. So we are hoping that our businesses will begin to embrace that, because the more communications that begins to happen, the more businesses and the more ideas begin to emerge. So those are the things that we're looking at. So that's one of those ideas I completely drop at you that's going to be happening for the month of May. So we're calling out for business owners. If you're a business owner, you want more markets, more people to know about what you do, you want to be able to explain your product, come and brand each month of our monthly meeting. We will give you a platform. We will send out information, a bio about you to all our members. Those are the things that we're looking at doing also to promote our businesses and also be able to help with some of the expenditures.
Well, some would argue that some members of your executive were clearly absent during the AGM meeting and subsequent takeover office. So how would you describe that relationship with your new executive?
Well, when we say we're absent, there were just two of them. One obviously had, were there to visit the hospital, and then another had a change of schedule regarding work. And funny enough, eventually, before the end of the AGM, or shortly before it ended, he was able to show up. So there's clearly no issue with that. And every team will have what we go through the various phases of team formation. And one of the phases, storming stage, which is very clear, because these are people, even married, people with different ideologies and different exposure coming together to work together. But one thing that you can be certain about is that we are working together for the common good of the association.
Right. Again, people will be thinking, the association has not done much for a lot of people in the society. And some will be wondering, why do we even need to belong here? And some are also thinking, with the high expectation during your campaign that has been put out there, what would you be telling them at this point about the association?
Well, there's a lot. So first of all, I did also know that the transition has been slow. And that's some of the things, the lessons that we've learned so far that we are going to document, and we're going to be passing on to the bylaw committee review. We do have a bylaw committee that's been set up, and it's amazing that we have great people there. It's been led by a lady called Philippa. She was with me while I was the bylaw review committee. She's been an amazing people. We have 3 lawyers, who are, one of them is even a lecturer at the housing. So we have an amazing team there to review the bylaw for us. because we understand that the constraints or ability to deliver will be based on that bylaw. So we've had a slow process in transition, and we hope that some of the lessons we have learned will be able to begin to see how we can make them as recommendations that can be documented. Because you will note that when the election was held, there was never a provision for transition. The bylaw never had those kind of provisions, so there was a lot of issue regarding what should happen during that process. So it's important that some of those things be documented. The truth is that we are stronger together. We are able to achieve much more together than apart. And that's where the association comes in. The association has a level. For example, now, our monthly meeting in April, we have 2 MLAs that have indicated interest to come. Actually, they wanted to even be there at the AGM to show their support. But I had to ask them to please let's move it to April because of the things that surrounded the AGM. So we're looking forward to those kind of engagement because it's easier for us to gather those individuals and to be able to channel our expectations and our dreams, our questions, and they're able to help put that within the context of their work and their responsibility. So there's a lot we can do together. I'm looking forward to a lot of that.
Well, Mr. Adegoke, we wish you the best on your journey as the president of Nigerians, Canadians here in Nova Scotia. Mind you, we shall be watching you.
But I want to quickly say something because we've been hearing a lot of requests about passport reform, and I just want to use this opportunity to just say this, that we're going to address all of those concerns at the monthly meeting of the 24th of April. We will be able to tell you the details regarding the passport reform, where we are and where we want to go. But I want to assure you that we're committed because the administration is continual. So right now we're looking at the entire documents and all of that, but we are committed to that. So please exercise a little more patience so that we have all the full information, and then we will ensure that we communicate that to everyone. So please wait till April the 24th, and we'll be able to give you better clarity.
Right. Thank you so much for that piece of information, Adegoke, and thank you again for being on the show.
It's a great honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you for the remarkable work you guys are doing. I see you. We hope to do more together in the coming weeks and months.
So you can check out our past episodes of Community Updates on your YouTube channel, and please don't forget to subscribe. My name is Promise Okoy, and I'll be back with more updates.